Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of the Game Groofs podcast, the all-encompassing weekly gaming podcast from the Goodnight Groofs. This week, guys, we're continuing to shuffle things around a little bit. We're still going without a true news segment since we have the GG replay continuing, as always, to cover gaming news 3 days a week. But again, we'll touch on some of that news in other ways. Game Groofs is still a work in progress, so any and all feedback from all of you viewers and listeners for the show and its segments, greatly welcomed and appreciated.
Big true.
My name is Matt. Today I'm joined by Mike, Josh, and Paul. Guys, let's go right into the peak of the week. All right, instead of just asking you guys how you're doing, I want to ask everyone what their peak of the week has been. What's the best thing that happened to you this week, Paul? What was your peak of the week?
You know what? Maybe I'm being a little bullish on this, but so far the most exciting and interesting part of my week is just this Annapurna Interactive showcase we did today. I'm just so hyped on all these indie games. I've been on the indie game trail. I've started playing Cris Tales this week on Game Pass. We also had like The Ascent, a lot of cool indie games out right now that I'm checking out. Last Stop. So all these Annapurna games just like totally scratch that itch. And also, we finally have a release date for The Artful Escape, a game I've been waiting for years. And it's September 9th, and it's coming day one on Game Pass. So you know that's what I'm going to be doing that day. So that was the peak of my week for sure. Pretty excited. Also, like, not to get too into it, but there's a game where you're a cat. Come on. I'm so excited. I'm here
Stray,
for
baby.
it. Peak of the week.
Paul, The Ascent was a game that I mentioned on like episode 1 or 2 of Game Groofs, and everyone was like, never heard of it before.
Yeah, but now I'm reading up on all these cool indies coming to Game Pass, and people are like, you got it. Now everyone's talking about Ascent right now. Like, it's all over Reddit and everything. So
Well, I think it's because the game like leaked or the review copies went out early or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Josh, what was your peak of the week? What's the best thing that happened to you this week?
Boy, we're going to lead this off with some heavy depression. No. My peak of the week is going to be tomorrow. Because this week has been the literal embodiment of hell. And tomorrow is Friday. Because we record these on Thursdays. It's been a very, 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 very long work week. And I'm just glad to go out, have a beer with my wife, and just do nothing for the weekend. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Right, yeah.
You telling me, brother?
Mike, what was your peak of the week, sir?
I don't know, my week was kind of a big valley, but I guess the peak of the week would probably be the Guild Wars 2 live stream.
Oh, yeah.
Where they showed off a bunch of End of Dragon features, showed off a bunch of new stuff. Kind of hype, bringing fishing, got skiffs. They all look really cool.
Skiff, man, I'm so ready to skiff about. I'm really hyped on that, actually.
The skiff's really cool. The fact that they didn't want to just introduce fishing as go and fish and go collect fish from all over the world, but actually make fishing into a fishing trip social activity where you go on a skiff and bring your buddies and just hang out, play music, etc. Thought that was really cool. Showed off Siege Turtle mount. Also cool. The first cooperative mount. There's two a driver and passenger on it. So expect more in that regards for future mounts as well. And then getting new specializations. They showed off Virtuoso, which I think was cool. I was expecting one musical related specialization, so putting it on the Mesmer made sense. I'm not excited about the symbols that they put out because I think my main as Elementalist is getting Longbow as their weapon, and that doesn't make me happy, but whatever. I'm sure it'll feel great to stand at far range and do nothing in fights, but whatever, it's fine. I'm not bitter. Hopefully I'm wrong and I'll get main hand pistol or something more interesting. But anyways, that was my peak. It looks cool. It looks very solid. I will say, unlike the previous expansions, it felt like they were missing a little bit of a wow factor. Everything seemed very good and exciting, except for like one part, the Gen 3 legendaries. But yeah, I think I'll have an article about that on the blog with more details as to my expectations and my reactions. But yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think there was kind of a WoW factor going into this, mainly that a lot of people are leaving WoW right now and looking for something to play. And
You could factor that WoW, yeah.
And I think
true.
that WoW factor actually probably got End of Dragons a lot more looks than it may have initially. So pretty cool.
There was a point during the announcement they posted on Reddit. There was more viewers in the Guild Wars 2 category on Twitch than in WoW.
Wow.
Holy shit.
That is a big deal.
The WoW factor.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Pretty crazy.
I agree with you.
How was your week?
Thank you for asking, Paul. Before
Sorry, I jumped
I was
on you.
low-key just sitting here waiting to ask. I was like, I want to ask.
I do. I was actually going to ask myself. I was going to do a little. Hey,
I
man,
know,
what was
sad though.
Yeah.
So sad.
Before I get into that, though, I do want to respond to one thing, and I agree. I think that there was like something left to be desired. Like, and it's not really fair for me to make a lot of criticism because I'm not really a huge Guild Wars 2 player, but it just seemed like there was something missing, and maybe they have something else up their sleeves. Who knows? But
they did say that fishing and skiffs would be one mastery track. The siege turtle is the second, and that there are 5 total. So we're missing 3 whole mastery tracks.
Okay.
8 other specializations that they haven't announced. But it felt like in previous announcements, the first one was we're introducing gliding, new verticality to all the maps. Maps became giant in just having 3 levels to most of the maps, which made things a lot more interesting in terms of world traveling. And then they introduced mounts, and mounts were huge.
The mount system in Guild Wars 2 is awesome.
So cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's the best.
So when they introduced that was the WoW factor for Pathfire, because the rest of Pathfire was kind of meh. But this, it was like, okay, we get fishing. What's the big thing?
Right.
Yeah.
Where is it? So
hopefully something's still coming.
Yeah. Like I said, everything looked good. Just nothing spectacular, I guess. I don't know.
My peak of the week was a little something I got in the mail this week. A little something from our boy Paul. He sent me this delightful Goodnight Groofs mug. It says Goodnight Groofs on one side, GG Replay on the other. Delightful stuff right here on my desk, ready to go for coffee on the next GG Replay tomorrow. Thank you, Paul.
Very welcome.
It's beautiful.
Sorry to the audio listeners, you can't see what it looks like. Now I guess you have to go to YouTube. So hop on over to the YouTube channel.
Hop on over. Maybe we could post a picture to our social media, just like, a little pic of the mug. That would be kind of fun.
I'll throw it up on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
Let's move on to trending topics, guys. In trending topics, I give our panelists a choice between 3 search terms. They have to tell me which term they think got the most searches over the last 7 days via stats from Google Trends. We'll play 3 quick rounds. Round 1.
I'm gonna win this one.
Very appropriate for the first round of this. Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy 14, or New World?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I don't want to give away the farm by saying which one I think it isn't.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
I think I know which one it is.
I think I know which one it isn't more than anything. I would.
Yeah.
I feel like y'all are just waiting on me to go first.
Oh, if I can go first, I'm gonna say Final Fantasy 14.
I'm gonna say New World.
I'm gonna say Guild Wars 2.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I don't think it's Guild Wars 2.
So I'm glad it went this way, because I will say this was incredibly close between all 3 of them.
Really?
Yeah. They were all very close. But the winner was New World.
Hey.
Holy shit, I'm surprised.
Final Fantasy a close second, Guild Wars a close third. Round 2. The 3 options are Battlefield 2042, Dead Space, or Blue Box.
Why'd
how
you
much
put that in there?
I wonder how much residual. When did Battlefield the Portal?
That's kind of my thing too. When's that? That was like last.
When was that announced?
Well, Dead Space and Portal were announced at the same event.
Oh shit! I'm going Battlefield. I'm gonna regret that because I actually think, oh shit, fuck. I've already locked in. I think it's
I'm going Dead Space.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go Dead Space too. Why
I
not?
actually
But
Googled Dead Space this week, so
there you go.
All right, so this is a two-way race. Blue Box wasn't really much.
Yeah.
no.
The difference between it was as close as you could get without it being a tie on Google Trends. Okay?
Wow.
The winner was Battlefield.
Go boys.
Wow.
Oh.
I just felt like
And-
Battlefield might get Googled, but not Battlefield 2042. I wasn't expecting that to have as many.
Yeah.
numbers.
True.
Interesting.
True. In the final round, dusk, midnight, or dawn.
Midnight.
What the shit?
Dawn. I'm going Dawn.
I'm going. Fuck it. Dusk.
So this one was not even close, even a little bit. This was an
Probably
absolute
midnight.
blowout. I thought it would be midnight. It was
Wow.
dawn. It was dawn.
Yeah.
Damn.
People want to know when the sun comes
So
up.
I want.
Oh shit!
So I think
Out of
partly
all the properties that had midnight in them.
I'm wondering if part of it has to do with the fact that dawn can also be a person's name.
Oh, that
Oh,
really
yeah.
has something.
I literally work with. Oh my god.
It's not like a common name, but still.
No, but and there's a dish soap,
True.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
and they have like a foundation. It's a good one. Dawn was a good guess.
Mm.
People want to know when the sun comes up, man.
It could be.
Uh,
It could be.
Paul, I think we just got dumpstered by Mike.
We got wrecked. Julie's got one. I'm coming out of this 0, and I was real cocky going in. So
You live and you learn, Paul. You live and you learn.
I got to win the next game.
All right, let's move on to the big question. This week's big question.
And it is a big one.
Big.
New World's closed beta has been a massive success over the past week. The game hit over 200,000 concurrent players last Sunday, and on its worst day, it's still hitting around 130 concurrent users. Did I say consecutive the first time as well? I meant concurrent.
I don't think so.
It's very possible that these numbers will grow even higher once the game officially launches with a $40 price tag on August 31st. Obviously, numbers are going to dwindle over time. As that happens with every new release, many people will jump in and play with the rush on release day and eventually drop off. Though it should be noted that New World's lack of a subscription cost could help extend its longevity in the current MMO space. Speaking of which, Final Fantasy XIV is still riding high after many new players have been flocking to Eorzea. A significant portion of these players are believed to be World of Warcraft refugees. The numbers are likely to grow even higher after news of a lawsuit against Activision Blizzard went public last week. Meanwhile, Elder Scrolls Online is still maintaining a healthy population, and Guild Wars 2 showed off its third expansion, End of Dragons, which is expected to launch in early 2022. Who would have thought Guild Wars 2 would be in every segment so far?
This is the big week. This is the big week for Guild Wars 2.
So here's the big
We're
question.
proud.
Yes.
We're proud.
We are proud fathers.
Is it possible that we may be at the start of a new era in the world of MMOs? Many believe the golden age of MMOs to have passed us by about a decade ago, likely to never return, but with World of Warcraft finally on an obvious decline, will that open up opportunities for new developers and publishers looking to enter the space when they may have been more hesitant to do so in the shadow of WoW? I'm going to toss this one over to Josh first. Josh, what are your thoughts on this?
So let's just go back to the golden age that we're talking about. How golden was that age, really? Or was it just a really high number of releases? Look back to see how many of those games that came from said golden age and see how many are actually still around that weren't already.
I think it's fair to say too. Like I think like some people, there's like a golden age before WoW. I think a lot of people say that is like some of the better MMOs to come out, and then there's a golden age, quote unquote, that was like WoW killers that really never were quite amazing. Yeah,
yeah, there were sort of two
ones.
arguably two different golden ages before and after WoW.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you go back through all those games. WildStar as well. F's in the chat. Rift is I hesitate to even call it life support. And Final Fantasy got completely reworked into what it is now, and SWTOR so I'll get off that part of the soapbox. I think we are at the start of a new era. It's just a matter of, are these games going to be any good? it seems like there's a lot of passion into it, and it doesn't seem like any of the people that are doing it are going into it of the mindset of, wow, can't wait to like kill WoW with our game. It's just like, here's our game. Here's what we're doing with it. Have fun, play, please. And I think there's a lot of opportunity there for people that take it seriously and come into it with that idea. Not only that, I mean, New World, just as one example, the price point, $40 is like, even though the closed beta didn't just completely wow me, it's a new MMO. I'm going to enjoy the like initial hype because I'm going to get it. I'm going to enjoy the initial hype of everybody running through this new MMO, getting hyped, having a blast. You know, I'll do the same for Ashes of Creation. So I mean, I think we're there, if not already. You know, very much at the forefront of it, especially with WoW going downhill. And you know what potential changes they could be making.
Mike, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
I would say, sure, we're at a new release schedule of MMOs. I don't know that we're in a different era. I think it's less so having to deal with WoW. I mean, that's obviously had a huge impact on the current landscape. People are switching games pretty heavily at the moment, but I think it has more to do with how New World and Ashes of Creation do. Those are the two big heavy hitters that people are watching right now. If they do well, then I think we can see more new releases of MMOs. But I don't think it has much to do with WoW at this point, because now it's not, oh, I need to get people to come to my game from WoW. It's now, oh, I need to get people to come to my game from Final Fantasy. I think people are more willing to give new MMOs a try, but people have always been willing to give new MMOs a try, especially at the low price point, like Josh mentioned. I mean, Guild Wars 2 expansion price point is $30. That's insane.
Yeah.
So I would be cautious to call it a new era just yet. It might just be 2 flops and we're stuck with Final Fantasy and Guild Wars 2, and that's it.
True. Forever, for eternity.
Imagine.
Mike, I don't know if you listened to yesterday's replay, but we briefly discussed the possibility of a Guild Wars 3, and I gave my take on that. What are your thoughts? To refresh people, just in case they haven't listened, I threw out the idea that there won't necessarily be a Guild Wars 3. I think they're gonna go more to the Guild Wars.
Matt has a really hot take here on this,
yes.
So you're gonna like this.
So I think they'll go more smaller scale. They'll go more toward a Guild Wars 1 take on things, or even a straight up top down RPG in the sense that it's like Diablo, where you have the hub like Guild Wars 1, but it is an actual top down game. What are your thoughts on that?
Interesting.
I completely agree that Guild Wars 3 will not be an MMO. I don't think it. I think Guild Wars 2 is the MMO. Guild Wars 2 will continue to get support. They've shown through the past 9 years now, almost, that they can release proper content through their living story. They need to do an expansion every now and again to introduce new elite specs, because they haven't shown that they're able to do that through living story, but they've shown that they're able to carry a narrative, provide new maps, do everything in a cadence of every several months. If they were to do a Guild Wars 3, it would be probably a different division of the studio, and it would be a completely different game. I think something top down would be cool. I don't think it would be Diablo like.
That's not too bad. Just a little
That
bit.
is the Goodnight Train for everybody.
It's just going to be about trains. It's going to be the new Guild Wars 3 train simulator.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I think I would be interested. A Diablo style isometric RPG would be cool. I would also be interested in like a party based system similar to like Dragon Age, or one of those games. Not Path of Exile, Pillars of Eternity.
Right.
Yeah, something like that I could see them doing. But yeah, I think Guild Wars 3 is going to be something completely different. Still in the universe, still an RPG, but something different.
Paul, going back to the general discussion at hand, what are your thoughts? Are MMOs, are we entering a new era?
let's get real conceptual with it. Now, this is my thought here, and I'll say first off, Josh, before I get started on my soapbox, I just want to say, you know what? That was a golden age. Warhammer Age of Reckoning. We got a private server, man. It's coming back.
I have
So
the
don't even
collector's
tell me
edition.
that 2008 wasn't a year, or 2007 a year of reckoning. You know, no, but it was okay. Age of Conan. I think you can still play it.
You can
now. That kind of brings me into part of my point. So, I mean, I think a lot of these things kind of come together. And I think one thing is we look at the longevity of games right now. We look at longevity. We talk about this all the time on Game Grooves. We talked about it on GG Replay. GTA 5, it came out in 2013. We're still on GTA 5, and we're still supporting the online for it. And we see that with a lot of games.
And we all love Rockstar for that, by the way.
Hey, whatever.
Oh,
you know.
yes.
Oh, intense love.
Yeah. We're seeing that, you know, we're seeing games last a lot longer. I have better examples, but not off the top of my head right now. I'm trying to remember all this. But games are lasting a really long time, and they're being supported for a really long time without big numbered releases. And that's you can talk about the whatever you purport the original golden age of MMOs. Post Mud, we had things like EverQuest, then we have EverQuest 2, and we had a lot of 2s, and we had a lot of games that were kind of iterative on a game. And now, you know, as downloading is easier to do, as it's easier to do expanding on games and build upon games, we have more expansions. We have more, not even like a traditional expansion, but patching more and more. I mean, we see this all the time. So I think it's interesting to note that a lot of the MMOs that have been popular up until maybe just like right now have been MMOs that have been out for a very long time. Now we're seeing new ones. But to me, I'm getting the vibe that these are the same old New World, Ashes of Creation. These are the same trend. There's the same turn on the same kind of thing. You know, it's the same basic gameplay of WoW, presentation of WoW, or EverQuest, or any game that we've had an MMO forever. I want to think about something like Half-Life Alyx. You know, I mean, was that the Half-Life 3 that anyone was expecting? No. I mean, it's still not necessarily, but was that like a totally different way of considering pushing forward a genre? What?
I think we're going to the same direction here with our thoughts.
Yeah, and I just feel like MMOs have been the same for, 25 years, really. And I'm not saying that no one's made anything experimental, but I think these are just more of the same. They see what's successful with WoW, they see what's successful with Final Fantasy, these companies and the developers, and they go, we're going to make the next one, and we're going to make our bread, and we're going to, do the best we can with our budget. It's not a bad business model, but I don't think it's another golden age of MMOs. I think it's a lot of the same. And last thing I'll say, just on that point, is that I think what we're really seeing innovation is, innovation is in MMO lights. I mean, that's where we're seeing a lot of crazy innovation. Some of my most enjoyable MMO adjacent experiences in the last few years have been playing things like Conan Exiles, or God forbid, Fallout 76. Even sort of, it's kind of fun playing in game worlds with other people that, there's a decent amount, and there's enough people to play with and build things with. But also, because it's not so massive and persistent, you can, build things, you can have destructible environments in a more real way, and you can kind of create communities in a more personal way. And I feel like a lot of games are moving toward that MMO light space, and kind of just ignoring, like, not even really shooting for MMO. They're shooting for bigger but still contained multiplayer experiences. And I don't know if I think we might get stuck there for a while until, we can seamlessly take something like Assassin's Creed or something that's like a heavy duty, gorgeous graphic, RPG, and just like fully put it in with 1,000 people. I feel like until we can get to that, and do it thoughtfully, I think something like Palia seems the most interesting to me right now. Because it's a game that's taking some of those MMO light aspects. There's crafting, there's housing, there's things that aren't just combat based, and I think that is to me the closest thing I can think of to being something that feels like a next level, or something that could usher in a new way of thinking of MMOs. I feel like, Matt, I just took everything you were gonna say.
No. I've got a little bit more. I'll let Josh go before I go.
You brought up one point that kind of hit home. It's like New World, for example. While it has all this new shit and new ideas, like, it's still at the same day, like, it doesn't feel like it's a wholly complete game on its own. But at the same time, it's still just that same basic MMO formula.
It's still EverQuest.
Exactly. It hasn't like built upon. I mean, it's built upon it in its own way. Yeah. But it's like you said. I don't think it's really taken the opportunity to conceptualize on it. So that's a good point.
So I have like 2.5 thoughts on this, and you'll see why I say 2.5 in a second here. First thought is a little bit simpler. I think everybody knows MMOs are a massive financial undertaking. It's a huge risk, a massive risk. And I do think a lot of companies completely ruled out the idea of even trying to enter the space when WoW was king. But that's quickly not becoming the case anymore.
And it's especially when you see companies like, games like Warhammer, Age of Reckoning, or Age of Conan, and other games kind of fall flat in their face after being very expensive to produce to be the next WoW killer. I think that was probably very scary to other companies.
Totally. The entire genre is just about to become a much more level playing field than it has been in over 15 years. So I do think we're going to see some new faces entering the ring and trying it out. And being more willing to take that risk. Now, for a thought 2.5, it starts off with Palia, like Paul mentioned. I think we're going to see more social MMOs entering the space to create these social spaces for players to engage with each other in meaningful ways that aren't just instance dungeon runs or raids or PvP. Like, there are going to be other ways for players to engage with each other. Ashes of Creation, New World, they're going to still have their player base. People are still going to want to play those games. But I think there's a space opening for social MMOs. And with that also comes the progression of VR. And I think VR will have its whole separate era of MMOs beyond.
It's just like you were talking about on GG Replay this week with PlayStation Home and having like virtual spaces to meet with people.
Yeah, so think of something like Palia, and then the next era of Palia is experiencing that within VR. And it's hard to right now imagine what that looks like, because obviously, like, I can think what it would be like to put on VR goggles and I'm playing World of Warcraft in VR. Like, I can imagine what that's like, but I don't think it's going to be as simple as that. I think there are changes and there's going to be progress made in the VR space and the social VR spaces that we really can't anticipate at the moment. And there's going to be something. There is going to be the killer app for VR at some point. We just don't have it yet, but it's coming. Maybe it's even starting development now. Who knows? But it's coming, and it's probably going to be a social space of some sort in the vein of an MMO. So that's sort of what I'm thinking on that. What do you guys, because I know Paul and I have talked about VR MMOs before, and one of our buddies wasn't necessarily on board. It was you and I who were big on the VR idea, right? And then he was like, I just don't really see that happening. And my idea is that I think you can't think of it in the same way that you think of MMOs right now.
Yeah. It's not going to be WoW, but with VR goggles on, it's going to be something totally different.
Right. Do you guys anticipate that being a possibility, or am I thinking too big picture, too far down the line?
Like, really tough to say without seeing it first, because I can't
That's
conceptualize what it would be like in my head. All I think of when I think VR is like anime waifus and whatever that VR chat. Like, that's just what comes to mind, just based on everything what we have up to this point. It sounds neat. I like the idea of being even more involved in the world, akin to Sword Art Online or something like that. It's just really hard to conceptualize it because it feels so far in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts on the big question before we move on? I think we all agree in some way that MMOs are going to be taking a new direction and finding some sort of new life here, while the old ones still exist and still have their player base, because people still like that stuff.
Definitely.
Let's play a mini game. Let's play Name That Game.
Oh boy, Paul's about to dumpster us again.
In Name That Game, I give the panelists up to 10 clues. The clues start off more vague and progressively get more specific. The first panelist to guess correctly wins. You only get one guess. If you're wrong, you're out. We take game title suggestions from our $1 plus supporters over on Patreon at patreon.com/goodnightgroofs. So if you're in that tier, just send us a message and with a game title for Name That Game, and it might be on next week's episode. All right, we ready?
Yeah.
I'm feeling good about this one. I'm proud of this one.
You look excited for this one.
All right. This game holds a score of 86 on Metacritic for its original release. This game was this developer's first official full release. This game originally released on just one platform, but has since appeared on a total of 5 different platforms. The game first released in 2017.
First.
Thoughts? All right.
I think I know, but I'm holding off.
All right.
Come on, Mike, just go for it. Throw
No,
your hat in the
no
ring.
Googling. No Googling. All right, here we go.
I'm not Googling. I think I know.
All right. This game has been banned in multiple countries. Some people have even been arrested for playing it.
Okay, now I don't know. What?
This game can be played in either first or third person.
Nope, no idea.
4 more clues. This game will be receiving an animated series adaptation.
The Witcher.
The Witcher, yeah.
No.
Well, fuck my butt.
Wow, why'd I jump in on your same answer?
Yeah, I don't know.
Bro.
All right, Mike.
All right, Mike, it's just you.
Great.
I still ain't won this shit.
Now, if Mike gives the wrong answer, or he doesn't get it, then after the last clue, if I get through the entire final clue and Mike hasn't guessed it, then you guys can jump in.
Okay.
Right?
So Mike is literally brain dead.
The game is considered the #1 most played game of all time. A new game that takes place in this game's universe will release next year.
Wow, I feel dumb.
This game ushered in a new genre amidst that battle royale that is the game development. Anyone? Paul?
I know.
What is
PUBG?
it? It's PUBG.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that.
Player
was
Unknown's
never
Battleground.
guessing that.
Yeah.
I heard
never
Battle
guessing
Royale,
that.
and I was going,
No.
okay, there's Warzone, Blackout, what else?
Most played game of all time.
Yeah, that was what caught me. I did know that one.
It's so rare that you have a game that's big in every region of the world.
Yeah.
And PUBG is that. And that's why it's the #1 most played game of all time.
It's
Even
shocking.
though in
'cause
North America it kind of got overshadowed hard by Fortnite, but globally
Yeah.
still the top.
It's such a janky ass game too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
God, it's scuffed.
So Paul got it, but Paul already guessed, so he didn't win. No winners.
No
winners.
No winners.
No winners.
Only L's.
Because I guessed on Josh's guess of Witcher.
My initial
I was
guess.
like, can I get half a point?
Yeah. All right. Well,
my initial guess was going to be Among Us, so I'm really glad.
I don't think that was a bad guess at all. Like for most of it, yeah, until the third person and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was like, oh nope, no idea.
That's
So
what your
in the
face
first
changed. I was
person
like,
mode where you
"What's
look in
that?"
the vent and you can see someone hiding in it.
I also want to say, you guys said The Witcher, like the first game in the series. Like I don't.
No! You said animated series, and I really thought you were just like I was just like so ready to.
I'm also like, can you play first person mode?
Dude, shut! I don't know where the first game is. I know the first game.
You ain't played first person Witcher yet.
Those monsters look crazy up close, man.
Technically,
At least the first one.
Noonwraith looks great.
Yeah.
I think the animated
Oh,
series
the final
actually.
boss.
Yes, of course. I think the animated series takes place before when the first game would have been, because it's following Vesemir.
Oh, it's before we get to it's before we get to sorry, I think you meant the PUBG animated series, and I was gonna make a joke that was before we get to Geralt, but okay.
Jesus Christ. All right. Let's take a break, guys. Let's go walk over to the water cooler and discuss the games we've been playing this week. Paul, I'm gonna go to you first. Paul, what have you been playing this week?
I'll tell you right now, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. Just feeling it out, binging some TV shows, some trash TV shows on Netflix, and playing Fortnite has been pretty fun. But more interestingly, been trying to play some more indies, trying to play some more kind of casual games. I got into Enter the Gungeon a little late this week, and I've been trying to play that. Pretty fun. I just got kind of sick of playing Dead Cells over and over for a bit. I needed to play something else that kind of gave me a similar feel, and Gungeon's pretty fun. So that's a cool game. I've really only scratched the surface. Probably played for like 5 hours or so, but it's a lot of fun. It's a cool game. And then today I started playing Chris Tales, which is pretty cool. I've been playing that on Xbox on Game Pass, and that just recently came to Game Pass. Pretty fun game. Right now I'm getting real Disney meets JRPG vibes. Like the voice acting, the music even has like a big Disney feel to it. It's kind of like, it feels like it's a good one for me, like baby's first JRPG kind of thing.
Is that like is it like a tactics game?
So you just kind of wander around like 2D, and then you can well, it's like a 2.5D sort of, and then you can just like turn-based fighting, not tactics though. You just kind of like pick which side you're fighting, and it's very like time-based. It's pretty cool. It's not like a big spoiler, so you can like send your enemies like back in time and forward in time and make them young and old again, and kind of cool stuff like that. Like you play with time a lot in the game. And anyway, it's pretty cool so far. I've been wanting to play a JRPG kind of game, or a game that has that kind of storyline, but I've just found some of like the anime art to be a little much as a novice, and also won't name too much of what I'm talking about, but you know. And some of the designs can be a little over the top, and so that's happening. And this is pretty good. Just really simple, colorful cartoon drawings, and it's nice and simple. So yeah, I'm having a great time with that. I'm definitely gonna put in a ton more time, and I'm excited to just keep playing some more indies over the next week or so.
Nice. Josh, what about you? What have you been playing this week?
Speaking of over-the-top anime, okay, well, I've also been playing Final Fantasy 14. That's always my usual answer, just because what I'm playing.
Whatever MMO you're currently playing.
Yeah, basically, haven't touched WoW since the whole debacle has occurred. Finally hit the unsub button on it, and it's been, 6-7 years since I've hit it. Just for like 2 months back then. So, big change. We'll see how long that sticks. But not only that, speaking of over-the-top anime, I've been playing what is known as a pay model that you definitely really won't have to pay too much to get into. I can usually do most of the game with it. I think it's a Genshin Impact. Yeah, that one. And no, I haven't played a lot of games with like anime like art styles. And I was just like, you know what? People have mentioned this. Like, I get it. It's like a gacha game. It's, it is what it is. But it's legitimately fun. The combat is so satisfying, even though there's like the bullshit waiting mechanics. It takes you 15 hours to cook a fucking sausage. But like outside of that, like the combat's genuinely satisfying. Mike and I were kind of talking about it a little just in chat, and it's like you can generally beat the game and from like a story perspective, and then go from there without really spending any money. Yeah. So I was like, I can live with that. And then if I want to grind out, maybe toss a couple bucks here and there, I will. I got to fall in love with an anime waifu at some point in this game, I would assume. We just got to find out who first, because I've only played about 2 to 3 hours of it so far. So,
and there are just an unbelievable amount of characters.
Oh my god!
In that game. There's like 40 playable characters or something ridiculous.
Really? I didn't even know that.
I don't know. I mean, not 40, but there's like 20. There's like a lot of playable characters in the game.
There's a ton. You open up the character menu, and it's just insane. It looks like Sword Art Online. Just like threw up all over the page. Truly beautiful.
I love the art too. I was gonna say, as talking about baby's first MMO or baby's first JRPG or something like that. I find that art style is also really nice and pleasing, very smoothed out and kind of simplified a little bit and less
easy to look at.
Easier to look at. Like I just feel like I don't know shade, because I think like the detailed artwork that we see from Japanese artists on beautiful anime and manga and things like that is awesome. But it can be a little bit like harsh as someone who's not used to that style, I think. And this is a nice kind of like a way to move into that.
Sharp edges.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And sharp other things too.
Sure. Yep. Big old booba.
Yeah.
That's what I've been playing.
Nice. Mike, what about you? What have you been dabbling around in this week?
I started playing Bloodborne, and I got real mad at it.
Little bitch, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, Josh has also been playing Bloodborne.
I just forgot.
Thanks, Mike. Always keep us abreast of what Josh is doing, so he can't remember.
Yep. I've been playing Bloodborne. I've played Dark Souls 3, so I know what I'm expecting. It just made me extremely mad that They replaced the Estus Flask healing mechanic with go find health potions by grinding mobs, and I find that extremely boring when you are stuck on a boss. But that's really my only qualm with the game so far, and I'm sure it'll get better as I get better. Yeah, they're pretty kind of. I don't mind it as that much. It's just I got to the cleric beast and I died like 3 times to the fact that I couldn't see the cleric beast due to camera issues, and yeah, it made me mad very quickly.
Can't confirm.
I was supposed to start Persona 5 today. I didn't. We'll see if I do after this. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm playing some Guild Wars, did some of the new stuff that they released, but like not a whole lot. Oh, I've been playing Final Fantasy as well. But yeah, hoping to hit Persona 5 pretty heavy soon. Been looking forward to spending 100 hours to finish the main story.
Yeah. It is a lot, but it is a really charming game. It really is. It's like, I think I mentioned it before on either this show or replay, but it is like playing a Saturday morning anime. It really is. Josh, what were we gonna say?
Extremely.
Yeah, y'all are just like tempting the shit out of me to like finally just pick it up and play it. And it's a JRPG turn-based game, but like people speak so highly of it.
All right,
probably like $20.
Josh, here's the like average hour of playtime that you do in Persona 5. You get this nice little cutscene. It shows you what day it is because you wake up in above your coffee shop and that your uncle owns, and you go downstairs and you decide, what am I going to do today? And you go venture out in town and decide if you're going to go to the mall or go to the shops, who you're going to talk to, who you're going to make a relationship with. You do all this stuff. Time passes as you keep doing more stuff. Maybe you'll go eat lunch with a friend. Maybe you'll go to school that day. Who knows? And then you come back home, you go to sleep. It resets. It does the same animation, and you do it again. And then eventually you get to do turn-based combat. That is the fastest turn-based combat that I've seen in turn-based combat.
You can make it go really fast, yeah.
Ooh, that's tempting.
Yeah, it is, bro. It is.
I will say too, to not harp, but I actually tried to play. I forgot. I tried to play Yakuza Like a Dragon this week. I didn't get very far in. I played about 3 or 4 hours. Listen, I get it. It's cool for a lot of people. I guess I'm just not really into the gang. No matter what game it is, I'm not crazy into like gang stuff anyway. So I kind of forgot when I was getting it, like what the Yakuza is again. I forgot. I was like, oh, Yakuza. Oh yeah, it's like Persona, right? It's like the same shit. Right?
Just the Japanese mafia. A little cute little story about the Japanese mafia.
Yeah. It just felt like a cinematic. It just felt like I was watching a bunch of movies, a movie about some characters that was kind of written not great, and the acting was kind of awkward. And then once in a while, I'd get into like a really awkward way to move, and then I'd kind of just like I'd get to choose something, but not really, and then get into some really kind of fun turn-based fights. Like the fights were fine, if not super easy. I just feel like I have to enjoy watching those cutscenes, and I didn't super enjoy them.
I would say Yakuza Like a Dragon is very much like Persona 5 in that the tutorial island intro is very long.
It's like 20 hours.
Yeah, with like Yakuza Like a Dragon, it's very long and you don't actually realize that you've been in the tutorial area until after you leave it, and it's like, oh, I thought I was playing the game, but now I am.
Okay.
So I've watched probably 40 hours of that game on Twitch, and it starts off very I'm part of the mafia, and then it becomes very I'm not part of the mafia.
And right off the bat, the character the character you're playing clearly doesn't want to be part of the he wants to go be a hero or some weird shit. So like I get that vibe. I get that vibe for sure that it's gonna get completely off the rails from the mafia part. And that I'm fine with. I guess it's just like the general beat 'em up vibe. I feel like I don't like as much as I might have like Persona. Maybe it sounds like where it's like beat 'em up is the back part and not the main front part. So
yeah, I would agree with that.
So
I would agree with that.
but I was just like, it's on Game Pass. I don't want to pay for Persona, but maybe I'll do it.
Yeah, I was like 35 hours in a Persona 5 when I stopped playing, and it was still showing me new things.
Yep.
Which is just wild.
It doesn't show you the title until like after the first boss, and the first boss is 40 hours in.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I was like, what?
I was like so confused.
How long is this game? Yeah, no, it's a lot, but it is a really fun game. I mentioned it before, but I do want to play the expanded version, Royal.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. As far as what I played
What
this
about you,
week,
Matt?
this will be the last time I mention it on the show. I swear to God. I beat Ghost of Tsushima. Okay, as they say, rolled credits. So now I fully liberated all the areas. I just need to go back, finish up some of the side quests. And then I'll have the platinum trophy, right? Shouldn't take more than like another 5 hours or so. It shouldn't be that much. I can probably speed through it. I'm so overpowered at this point, so I'll have it sometime this weekend. But a couple things that I wanted to mention from this game, a couple points of praise that I wanted to give it that I hadn't yet. This game has really dense forests in the open world, and you don't really see that very often in games. So especially in open world games. A lot of times what you'll see is like sparsely populated forests with copy pasted trees, and what they're doing is they're tricking you by exaggerating the canopies on the trees to make it seem like the forest is more densely populated than it really is, creating this illusion. But in Ghost of Tsushima, the forests are actually like densely populated. Like these bamboo forests actually are just full of bamboo, makes it hard to navigate, especially on horseback. Really, really cool. You get this claustrophobic feeling. It's actually like much darker in there because the sunlight's not all coming through. Just really cool. And I really appreciated that. It's huge for immersion when you're talking about open world games. And then the other thing I want to acknowledge is with the side quests in the game, it actually will acknowledge where you are in the game without things ever feeling out of order or misplaced along the timeline. So like you finish a side quest and you'll get like dynamic dialogue that comes up where the characters reference things that have already happened or are in the process of happening in other areas of the game. So it's not like I already beat the game and they're talking about things that like don't even matter anymore. Like they actually reference the fact that like the Mongols have been they've retreated because we've liberated all the areas or whatever. Like they're actually acknowledging that as I'm going back and doing side quests. So I thought that was just a really nice little touch. It just adds more to, like I said, I'm big on immersion with the open world games, and it just adds that extra little bit to it that just makes it, it doesn't take you out of things, you know? It's not like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, I'm playing a video game because that doesn't actually make sense with the story and the timeline of things. They actually put the nice little touch in there and they thought about that. I appreciate that. My plan this week is to revisit the Order 1886 after I get the platinum. I want to see if this game is actually as good as I remember it being, because I personally, like I mentioned last week on the show, that I really did like this game. And it's a quick platinum. I think I was looking it up. You can get the platinum in like 6 to 8 hours. So I'll be doing that. And then after that, I'll finally get to play Tale Innocence. But we'll see where things go this week. You guys ready for another minigame?
Always.
All right, let's play Claim a Game. In Claim a Game, I give our panelists a choice between two games and ask them which one sold better or which one scored higher reviews. They have to claim one of the games. Review scores are taken from Metacritic and based on the best scoring platform. We'll play 8 rounds. The panelists can make the same claims, but whoever made more correct answers at the end wins. We take matchup suggestions for Claim a Game from our $1 plus supporters over on Patreon at patreon.com/Goodnight Groofs, where you can message us your suggestion.
Oh, that value.
Value. All right. More units. Tetris by EA on mobile, or Tetris by Nintendo on Game Boy and NES.
Oh my God. Tetris EA mobile.
That's probably right, but I'm gonna say Nintendo.
Support the big dog.
Nintendo.
The EA needs support, man.
Who's the big dog? Who are we picking here?
I'm
They're both
saying
the big
Nintendo's
dog,
the
man.
big dog.
Oh,
EA's
okay.
just kind of like a chihuahua. They're just there.
Okay.
I don't know now. I wonder who has more. I wonder what's like a bigger company. Anyway, yeah.
So what are our
Okay.
picks?
I picked Nintendo.
Same.
And Josh, you picked what?
EA.
Okay. Tetris by Nintendo on Game Boy and NES. 43 million copies sold.
Oh fuck.
However, Tetris by EA on mobile, 100 million copies sold.
Let's go, baby! Those whales are paying
Wow.
off once
Wow.
more in dividends. Oh, we love to see it.
A higher score. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds or Fortnite?
Well, we know what everyone thinks about PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds in this round table, that no one knows what it is. Remember, it still exists.
I had a lot of fun memories on PUBG. Really, I actually enjoyed it, but it was dog water. I'm going lowest or highest? I couldn't remember.
Higher score.
Higher score. Fortnite. Wait, fuck.
I'm saying PUBG for sure.
It's got to be PUBG. Shit. I said Fortnite.
No, you can change it.
I'm going PUBG.
You didn't lock it in. It's not Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I didn't ask you if it was your final answer.
All right, yeah. PUBG.
Yeah, I'll go Fortnite.
PUBG 86, Fortnite 85.
Oh God.
All right.
Oh, thank you, Regis Philbin
Yeah,
gods.
you saved yourself there. More units sold, The Outer Worlds or Fallout New Vegas?
Ooh.
I mean, like total New Vegas.
I'm going New Vegas.
Whoa, wait. How does Game Pass factor into units
Oh,
sold? I feel like
shit.
Microsoft is going to play some bullshit on this number.
So, in order to, as far as Game Pass goes, Microsoft, I don't think they've given out really any data on Game Pass. So, it doesn't
does that-
factor in
Other than all that
New Vegas,
value.
Sure.
all that value. Would you
I'm
rather be a
going-
patron or have a Game Pass subscription? I don't know. It's tough.
I'm going New Vegas. I'm going
Patreon
New Vegas.
for Groofs for sure. I'd rather do. Oh, sorry, we're talking about New Vegas. For sure.
Outer Wilds. Not
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds. Definitely not Outer Wilds.
Outer Wilds, very different. Yeah.
I think that's sold under 1 million copies. The Outer Worlds, 3 million. Fallout New Vegas, 12 million.
Come on, that game there's still people discovering New Vegas to this day. I feel like.
In the world. Oh, okay. I did this on purpose, actually. Higher score. The Outer Worlds or Fallout New Vegas?
Oh damn,
I
this
mean-
is tough.
Well, here's the thing. I know Fallout New Vegas' vague score because they went below the threshold that Bethesda set for them, and that they lost a huge bonus, and that's why Obsidian stopped making them.
Yeah, they only gave him 18 and a half months to make it.
It was like under 90. I know. I think 90 was the threshold for their bonus or something. So I think it's like in the late 80s, or the high 80s. Sorry.
Even though,
and I just feel like Outer Worlds. I just feel like Outer Worlds. It's a double A, but I just feel like people are gonna judge it like a triple A and underscore it.
I'm going Outer Worlds.
I think it's a trick question. I'm gonna. Fuck me. What did you say, Mike? Did you
I'm not
answer?
gonna
Did
do
you-
Oh, I'm gonna go Outer Worlds because I think it's like I had an idea of what the score was.
I'm gonna go Outer Worlds because I just feel like it's a trick question, and we're supposed to think New Vegas is the perfect game. I'm saying Outer Worlds.
So buggy.
New Vegas was so buggy on release.
Yeah, but come on.
The Outer Worlds, 85.
Fuck me.
Fallout New Vegas, 84.
Yeah, my favorite fun
Easy.
game, fun little gameplay mode of Fallout New Vegas was Fallout New Vegas EXE stopped working. That was a good one.
I remember Fallout 3, I got into a lot of points where my dad, this Liam Neeson, was just T-posing around everywhere, and then he kept just saying the same stuff. He kept going, my boy, my boy.
At one point, my dad got stuck with giant hands. I'm talking like from like this big. It's
Oh
like,
my
what is
God.
happening?
Love that. You can really enjoy the view of the giant hands when you're like, rubber banding up into the sky. It's a good time.
All right, 4 more rounds. Are you guys keeping track of your score here?
I'm keeping.
have it.
Oh,
I think
fuck,
I'm perfect.
okay. What were the two questions again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 1. Paul has 3. Josh has 4.
All right.
Oh my
Perfect.
God! Thank you. Okay.
Well, I'm about to 28-3 this bitch.
I thought there were
Oh, God.
2 rounds so far. So clearly, I have not been paying attention. All right.
More units. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order or Kingdom Hearts 3.
Damn, this is a really hard one actually.
That's really, really difficult.
Because it's like you have the Jedi IP, so it's like you got all the sweaty Star Wars nerds. Who are
That's on
100%
sale
going
a
for that.
ton too. You got to think about
Yeah.
it. Fallen Order always
And-
goes on sale.
And like Kingdom Hearts is Kingdom Hearts 3 was kind of dog water from what I heard.
More like dumb farts.
Big.
Kingdom
Um,
Sharts.
All right, Kingdom Shirt.
Gore.
Got him. Take that.
Oh.
Give me Star Wars.
Mike, what do you think? I want you to go. I don't know. No, I'll go.
I'm thinking Kingdom Hearts 3 just because, and this is anecdotal, so it makes zero difference. But like, I know people that bought it that don't buy video games. They bought it because I bought Kingdom Hearts 2 and it's Disney, and I was like, yeah, but
I remember
Kingdom Hearts 3
renting
is
it on my
trash.
N64 when I was a kid, even though I don't play video games.
And then they got the game. And they're like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck is happening in this game?"
Yep. They played all of 5 minutes of it and they're like, wow, this is terrible. I'm like, yep.
I'm gonna say Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. Yeah.
Fallen Order 10 million. Kingdom Hearts 3 5 million.
Damn.
I like how my initial logic brought me to Jedi. I was like, it's on so many platforms, it's always on sale. But you know what? I'm going Kingdom Hearts. Because Mike's anecdotal evidence really sweet.
Yep.
It did. I was like, you're right. You know what? Yeah.
Higher
No, that's
score. Spider-Man on PS4 or Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Bitch.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
Miles Morales, because it really gives you the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
Oh, God.
That's worth it.
Just so everyone's aware, this is a reference to a GameSpot review. This is not Paul's own. But the first Spider-Man game really makes you feel like Spider-Man.
It does.
Whereas the second one just makes you feel like a black teen, I guess. That's really the takeaway from that one. So
Great
No,
job,
yeah, great job as GameSpot. Remember IGN? People kept calling it an IGN thing, and IGN had to come up and be like, "No, we would never say this racist shit. This was GameSpot."
That's a hard one, bro.
I'm saying Miles
Jesus.
Morales, though. I think it was a better product. I think it was way more tight and just I don't know. I liked it a lot.
I haven't played it either. So I'm just gonna go off of Paul's good testimony there and say Miles Morales.
Yeah. Plus, it's got like a lot of great representation and stuff that I think is good, and also I think reviewers like. So. Yeah.
That's true. I'm thinking because like I like the first one more, probably just because there's more to it.
It's a more full game for sure.
what they are, though,
Yeah.
I guess. Like,
Oh shit!
yeah.
For
Paul,
what
have
they
you done?
are, I would
what
agree.
I got out of the amount of hours out of Miles Morales, like accepting that
Yeah.
it's a smaller game, I thought they did a better job. Even though I love PS4
definitely.
Spider-Man, like I love it, and I love Peter more, arguably most of the time. But oof,
They recast Peter.
yeah, oh, it looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible.
I was like, who the hell is this? This isn't Peter. And he's like,
Terrible. He
he
looks
says,
younger
I'm
than
leaving. I'm
Miles.
like, okay, thank God. I don't know who you are.
Brutal.
Nah, I'm going with the first one.
Damn.
Spider-Man PS4 in 87. Spider-Man Miles Morales 85.
Oh, there goes the perfect.
Hey.
Son of a bitch.
I led you wrong,
Catch 'em, Paul.
Josh. I led you astray. You should listen to the anecdotal evidence from Mike. That's where it seems to work sometimes.
More units
Half of the
sold.
time.
Titanfall or Titanfall 2.
Titanfall. Titanfall 2 is. I don't want to give too much. Oh, sandwich
Here's
between
the-
Call of Duty and
Here's the
Battlefield.
thing. Titanfall 2 had all this like weird kind of cult following afterwards, and a lot of people bought it for like $1.
It's had a lot of free weekends.
Titanfall 2 actually has had a lot of free weekends too.
I guess
though. It had a really
Titanfall
good
2.
campaign.
I guess
It had
Titanfall
a,
2,
it had
that's my
a really
vibe.
good campaign too. Actually, you know what? I'm fucked. Yeah, it's Titanfall or Titanfall 2, 100%. But I'm going with Titanfall anyways.
Perfect. Paul has been swayed to Titanfall 2.
Thank you, Mike. I did start. I was the first one to say Titanfall 2 this time. For the record.
I was going with Titanfall 2 regardless because I just think it's the better game.
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
Like,
I mean, it was really good.
I
But
feel like Josh, you're going off the fact that the early hype didn't realize what the first one was going to be, so more people bought it off that kind of.
Well, and not only that, Titanfall 1 was actually like a really good game. In fact, I think it's a better shooter than Call of Duty. But
I agree.
It was with the Xbox One Connect, where at the time Don Matrick was like, yeah, you could just get the Xbox 360 to play offline. So that's why I think I'm probably in the shit here.
All right, we all have our answers.
Hmm?
All right.
2.
Oh, one.
Titanfall, 10 million. Titanfall 2, 4 million. You guys forget that Titanfall 2 was sent out to die by EA because they released it at the same time as Battlefield.
And Call of Duty was coming literally like 2 weeks down the road. I'm still pissed about it.
They put it out to pasture and just let it die.
Fuck you, EA.
Fucking EA. Gotta support the big dogs, man. Nintendo. By the way, I did look it up just total assets in terms of like top amount of money available. EA like 7 billion or 11 billion, something like that, in that range, around 10. And Nintendo like 22 billion. So I was just curious. I thought maybe EA was a bigger company secretly, but no, it's still Nintendo.
So a couple years ago, before Xbox acquired Bethesda, there were rumors that they were trying to acquire EA. So that actually makes it sound more realistic now that could have happened.
Yeah.
All right, final round. What's the score, Mike? What do we got here?
Josh is winning and has won.
Okay.
It's over.
All right, so this round is just for fun.
Josh has 6, Paul has 3, I have 2.
Higher score: Marvel's Avengers
Oh God.
or Anthem?
You've used Marvel's Avengers so many times.
Marvel's Avengers or Anthem? Boy, we are really picking between two.
I'm
like
saying
rusty
Marvel's Avengers
toilets.
right off the bat because Marvel's Avengers has like diehard fans from Marvel, and Anthem was D-O-fucking-A.
This is the higher score, by the way. It's not units.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Marvel Avengers. It's at least a playable game.
Yeah. And it's got Avengers stands after it, I think.
It's not like it's a bad game because the content for it sucks and you can't see what you're doing, but the basic combat mechanics work.
If you want to play a game as Captain America, there is literally only one choice. Unless you want to play Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, then that one you could probably get that one too. Arguably a better game.
Extremely better.
I've already won, but I'm just gonna go solely off the fact that it was actually kind of fun to fly around your guy, and people 100% bought into that way too much and gave it a higher rating based on that solely alone. And then the initial hype down there, I was like, wow, there's nothing to do. I'm going Anthem.
I still want to get Anthem.
Wait, so you played Anthem?
Yeah, I played Anthem. I didn't buy it.
I figured you did.
It's on EA Play on Game Pass. I've multiple times almost downloaded it. It's free, and I'm still like, I just feel like I'm going to regret it very quickly. But I really want to feel the flying around your guy. I think that was like 99% of why the game looked cool. So
I didn't even like that part. I played the beta, and I thought even that was bad.
I thought it looked like really shitty Warframe.
It's literally not even worth the download. Don't even waste your data cap.
Yeah.
But anyway, the score: Marvel's Avengers 68, Anthem 65.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Absolutely in the toilet.
All right, Josh, congratulations.
Thanks.
You only missed one. And that was because you didn't play either of the games. Pretty good.
He missed 2. You missed 2.
Oh, you missed 2. Oh, you missed the last one.
Yeah. I could have said Marvels, but I staked it on the big dogs.
All right. Anytime anyone gets all 8 of them, you can have a speech. But
wow,
you got to have all 8. All right. Audience questions. Every week we address 2 or 3 audience questions, comments, or concerns. We take questions from our supporters over on Patreon at patreon.com/Goodnight Groofs. Have I mentioned that so far this episode? I don't know. Leave your questions in the comments section of the previous episode's post. The $1 tier will get you access to question submissions. We also take question submissions from gamegroofs@gmail.com and in the YouTube comments. But our patrons also receive prize.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I'm sorry to interrupt you so unceremoniously, but I just wanted to say, So you can pay us $1 and get your suggestion read, or if you just want to send us a free email, you can also get your suggestion read. But
You know what?
eventually,
Eventually.
when our inbox is just absolutely full, that Patreon's going to be worth it. At that point,
we'll take a free email for now.
Yeah.
So, in fact, this week I've made up both of these questions myself because people haven't written us in. So write us in, people. Write us in.
Not secretly pretending that making us feel bad about throwing shade at the people writing the questions.
I wasn't secretly pretending. It was a real question. All right. First question. This comes from Question Gal. We had Question Man. We have to have Question Gal now. All right, let's even
Matt
it
just
out.
gave up.
Sorry, Question Man gets to be Question Man, but Question Woman has to be Question Gal.
I thought it sounded a little. It was fun. You know, it was playful.
It's playful.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, we're keeping it light.
Three letters. Question Man. Question Gal. I don't know.
I get you.
What's your number one favorite genre in gaming, and what is it that makes it your favorite? Josh, let's go to you first.
Boy, this is going to be a real shocker. Actually, it is. You would think it'd be MMO, and I do love MMO at a solid number 2 because it's just fun, consistent to like log on, have something to do, not have to worry about other games to play. But actually, when a really good FPS game comes out, that's like it for me. I will log on to that bitch for like the month and not touch any other game. New Call of Duty comes out that's actually good. Like Black Ops 4, I played that religiously for like 3 months and did nothing else. It's just kind of what FPS do for me. And I think they're great and they work for me. And, you know, if an FPS is not good at the time, I'll always fall back on good old MMOs. So got to give it to my big old FPS big dogs. Shout out to Call of Duty and maybe a Titanfall 3 if EA decides to not goof it up.
You got Titanfall 3. It's called Apex Legends.
I would rather die. I would rather fucking die.
Shroud, if you're looking for extra promotion for yourself, this is an open invitation for you to come challenge Josh in any FPS of your choice.
Yeah, it's your boy Swish and Flick, baby. Let's go.
Mike, what about you? What's your number one favorite genre and why is it your favorite?
I don't know that I have a favorite.
Pick one, damn it.
I mean, like I play a bunch of different genres. I mean, everything that I play for the most part comes down to some form of RPG. So let's go with that. Yeah, I don't know. Genre is hard because I'll play a game based off of like the game, and like if the story is interesting or if the gameplay is interesting, then I'll play it. But genre, like I'll look at RPGs probably more than any other genre.
There you go.
Let's go with that.
That's a good reasoning. Paul, what about you?
I like it's a real shocker, like a good walking around, choices matter kind of game. Hard to nail down, but you know, your Life is Strange, your What Remains of Edith Finch, your Detroit Beyond Human. I just like walking around, making some choices, doing some little quick time events, and just overall unfurling a great story. That is what I like to go for. I mean, there's like a million. My first answer was going to be casual games, so I was going to say like, I don't know, I just like playing whatever game I can get into and not have to care at all what's going on, and that could be a racing game or like a roguelike or something. But I will say that I think these walking around, making choices and examining your environments and things like that, those games really grab me, and so definitely that would be my favorite genre.
I think mine has to. Oh yes, Josh, I'll let you ask me.
What about you, Matt? What's your favorite genre?
Thank you for asking.
Golly gee.
Mine.
If you really want to know.
You really want to know? Okay, I'll tell you.
Legally distinct impression.
Yes.
It was Ricky Rouse.
All right. I think mine has to be open world action RPGs. What is that? Oh God!
Just crack up in the background.
It sounds like he's in Talladega.
Oh my God!
Ricky Rouse. Sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
Open world action RPGs entering the MMO territory, but that's not always action combat. But we'll call them. We'll say open world action RPGs. The linear story heavy third person action game kind of comes in a close second at times. They can kind of almost they're closely related at times anyway. But in general, a lot of genres are starting to mix together and combine various features. But something about being able to just fully immerse myself into a new world and explore every nook and cranny and stuff like that's just really fun and immersive, exciting, and I don't know, there's something about that. I just really enjoy exploring a new world, and seeing everything it has to offer, all of its
I think
its
you'd really like
its
Amazon's
animals.
new game.
Oh, New World, yeah.
Yeah. It might be.
Exploring a new world in New World, yeah. So that's probably my answer to that question. We got everyone right. Yeah, we did. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Next
we're
question.
good.
You forgot me.
This one comes in from I've run out of names. What genre do you think is primed to create a new spin-off genre, a la MOBA from RTS or auto chess from MOBA? And do you think this naturally happens when a genre has nearly fully exhausted all progress? I'll answer first just to sort of set the table for this, give you guys a little bit more time to think.
Bless you.
I talked about this kind of on an episode of GG Replay recently, but I really think that the new Battlefield Portal is going to lend itself to this sort of thing. I would not be surprised at all if we see some new FPS mode that is spawned from this sandbox that eventually finds its way into other games. Will it create a new genre? Maybe. Things can kind of get a bit muddy with that. Would we call Battle Royale a new genre, right? But in truth, it's really just a game mode for third and first person shooters that has since expanded on itself. But I just think the Battlefield Portal is going to be this really creative space, and people are going to make some really interesting stuff that the developers never even thought could happen. And I think something's going to spawn out of that. How big it gets, I don't know. If it's a new genre, I don't know. But I definitely think new game modes are going to come out of that, and things that we're going to find in games going forward that become standard modes. What about you, Mike? Let's go to you first.
Well, you kind of sparked a little interest with that statement about Battlefield Portal, because can I get Griffball back? Is that a thing?
Oh, what a good time.
I think I'm with you on it though. Like FPS, I don't think is like stale per se, but I don't. To the second point of your question, does it happen when a genre has been fully exhausted? I don't think it's that. I think it's when a game developer, like you see DICE doing, gives players and a community the tools to do creative things. The MOBA genre came from Warcraft because they had the map editor. So I would agree with you, and that I think the Portal is the closest thing that we're going to get to a full-on freedom of editing for game modes. They did say it's not a map editor, but I would give my guess to Battlefield 2042 as the place to be for new game modes, for sure.
Paul, what about you?
Yeah, I think kind of off what you're talking about, but I think when you talk about the Battle Royale thing, we talked about this a bit this week, talking about PlayStation Home, talking about metaverses. I think Battle Royale and the spaces and like not MMO light per se, but these big lobbies where you see people hanging around, I think could push us toward a new genre but like a new old genre that brings back stuff like PlayStation Home or Second Life, these like hangout spaces with virtual avatars. I see a lot of people, and especially younger people, kids and things like that, like having half the fun of Fortnite for them is like getting into a lobby and hanging out with people, or like getting into a creative mode, or like one of those concert things, and they all kind of do emotes at each other and jump around and just like and goof about. And I feel like you can take away a lot of those. I mean, that's already existing in that, but I'm waiting for the first kind of game we get in the modern era that takes away a lot of the gameplay aspects of like the building or the shooting, and just makes it about the socialization. And I think Fortnite is pushing us to that point, and I'm wondering when we're gonna get another, like you said, a PlayStation Home or maybe something like Second Life.
I agree. I think creative mode in Fortnite is way bigger than people think.
It's huge. Anytime whenever I play with my nephew, he's like, "Let's go in creative mode,"
Exactly.
And I'm like, "Why? Why would you do that? It's all about like the game. Like, what are you talking about?"
It's funny. I was going to say the exact same thing. My nephew, when I was first talking to him about Fortnite, because he played a ton of it, he like only plays creative mode.
Yeah.
So Josh, what about you? Where do you think it's coming from, or what's going to happen with this?
I initially had no answer for this because my 8 brain couldn't formulate one just based off the games I play. But basically, what I kind of thought was, I don't know how they'd ever do it, but maybe some Breath of the Wild, Genshin Impact mixed with maybe like MMO Lite / MMO in the future. I don't know how you do that with all the ever-forming, changing worlds, the interactive environments. Who knows? But I think it'd be a fun mismatch to interact with. And combat may not be as in depth as certain MMOs, but if you got the world to interact with, then who knows? Maybe you have some fun with it.
Might I introduce you to a game called Palia that is in development? That might be something to check out. Looks very Breath of the Wildy to me.
It does.
And it's like an MMO like light style game. I don't know much about it.
Oh, yeah, I think it's supposed to be kind of an MMO style game, to be honest. That's
Nice.
That's got that kind of like Breath of the Wild art style, but less of a focus on combat, more exploration, more building. So I mean, definitely check out the initial stuff. It's pretty cool.
Word, okay.
But yeah, really kind of fits that actually.
Well, good answers all around. It's definitely, this is a tough question because it is one of those things where you're thinking into the future, and we aren't game developers, right? So like it's trying to think about things in the way that they would think about things, or like, let's be honest, there are very creative people out there coming up with these game modes within these sandboxes, and I'm not one of them. All right, let's move on to another mini game that I'm going to get in on. For the sake of being a little bit less crude than we have to, we're calling this Bang, Marry, Kill Video Game Edition. In BMK Video Game Edition, each Groof is assigned another Groof prior to recording. That Groof must then create a list of 3 games, franchises, developers, publishers, etc. for the assigned Groof. The list is presented live during recording, and then fellow Groof, the fellow Groof, must decide which of the options they're going to bang, marry, or kill. So here's how it goes. Bang, you get 1 night with this choice. One lovely, amazing night. Marry, you must engage with this choice daily, which is, my wife who's listening, this is a fantastic thing, and this is my favorite of these choices. And kill, you never get to engage with this choice ever, including future releases. Okay, so for this round, we paired up me and Paul and Mike and Josh, and we just chose what we think are probably among the others' favorite games. So some tough decisions, okay? So let's go first with Mike. Let's read off Josh's choices here.
Son of a bitch.
Was I supposed to pick favorite games?
Well, it could be whatever. It doesn't matter.
I just picked 3 games.
That's what I love did. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
WoW isn't on the list. I have 2 lists here, but I think I'm going to go with the one that has more awards.
Cool.
We got a Best Multiplayer Award, an Innovation Award, Game of the Year Award.
Wow.
Well,
No,
the Game of the Year award
wow.
isn't for this one. So first one.
Wow, all 3 are wow.
Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Oh my Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
Undertale.
Oh no. I feel like Andromeda is going to be on this list.
And Among Us.
Oh my God, what have you done to me? These are all atrocious.
Do you not like Undertale?
Oh,
I
he
don't-
hates it.
I don't like
Really?
Undertale. I hate Among Us and Warcraft Reforged. Well, I mean, it speaks for itself.
Wow, you don't. Yeah.
So if I
As
could
soon as you
toss all
said
of these-
Reforged, I was like, oh man, I know where this list is going.
No,
So if I could-
you went the opposite route, Mike. You picked games that he hates. I didn't even think about that, but
that's
Yeah,
that's
that's a
clever.
great-
That's
I
actually
was-
clever as hell. Okay, so son of a bitch. So I guess kill right off the bat. No, we're just gonna murder something outright. I'm gonna kill Among Us. I hate that.
I knew you
fucking
would.
game.
I knew you
hate
would. I was
Among
so
Us. It's
I was
dog
nervous
shit.
to put it.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's like I appreciate that people have their fun social interactions with it. I fucking hate it.
fair.
And then Bang. I had my fun every now and again with Undertale. We're gonna bang Undertale. It's got all the different. Really weird to say, but we're gonna
Stands.
we're gonna beat Sans Doonies down and bang
Gonna get you.
Undertale.
Give you a little megalovania.
And then I guess Jesus Christ, I'm getting married up to this old fucking pig. Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Oh God.
Gotta play that every day.
I gotta play that every day.
It doesn't matter. The entire Blizzard staff could be accused of some really terrible things. You're playing Warcraft 3.
I am just gonna run through the Arthas story, I guess, once a day because at least that's good.
Glad you could make it, Uther.
I can't watch you do this, Arthas. Anyways, go to hell, Mike. Thank you for that.
That was good. That was good. Let's go with Paul.
Really, you don't want to have Josh have an immediate bounce back?
Okay, we'll do that. Josh, give your immediate bounce
Josh
back
needs
to
his
Mike.
revenge, man.
So I gave you games you like. So first off, it's got to be I went with the obvious one. I went with Guild Wars 2. And then instead of picking just one particular game, I kind of cheated a little bit. I said Assassin's Creed. And then after Assassin's Creed, with the new other game coming out after this, I'm also going to say Mass Effect. So do with those what you will,
That's
sir.
fair. I picked a series.
Which Assassin's Creed? Like the entire series?
I'm just going with series since Guild Wars 2 is such a big game too. I just felt like it was the best thing to do.
All right. Interesting. I'm like tempted to kill Guild Wars 2.
Oh.
But not that tempted. I'll kill Mass Effect because I don't want to be stuck with future shitty releases.
I thought you might do that.
There you go. That's true.
I mean, the thing is, like, marrying Guild Wars 2 sounds like it would get really shitty. Because, like, I went
toxic really fast.
2 years not playing Guild Wars 2, though I could just make all the legendary items. That would take probably 15 years of my life.
MMOs are kind of cheat codes. Like you could.
Yeah,
There's a lot more to go on for playing every day.
Yeah, I'll bang Assassin's Creed and marry Guild Wars 2.
Wow.
Easy.
From killing it to marrying it. All right.
I like how initially you were like, fuck it, I'm tempted to kill Guild Wars 2. And
Isn't
it's your
this
daily.
what all wedded bliss is like anyway? Moving on. All right. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Getting
Just
toxic
kidding.
up in here.
I'm absolutely getting in trouble for that comment. Paul, let's go to you. Let's go to you.
Yeah, 100%. So I gave you a. I feel like I'm all over the place, so I feel like it's hard for you to pick for me. But I gave you a really specific genre here. We're in open world RPGs, baby. Your favorite,
boy,
you know
your
me.
Favorite. And I'm just gonna give them to you quick. The Witcher 3. We're going, and I already know you want to buy it again. So right off the top, that you're still missing out on future releases. Witcher 3, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Red Dead Redemption 2.
All right.
Good list.
And I think I know where you're putting them, but still, I was hard.
So right off the bat, I'm killing Horizon Zero Dawn.
So that's the thing too. I couldn't think of a third but I just knew you'd kill Horizon because I know you love those other two so much. It would be impossible.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I could have played a wild card. It's all right.
I think just going Last of Us 2 at some point, but I thought you might have killed that too. But yeah,
I think I have to go with. This is tough. Which game do I want to play daily? Probably The Witcher 3. And I say that because I think at a certain point with Red Dead, because it's a place in history and it's not fantasy, it's a little bit more limited in what's within the story. And I think it could get stale a little bit more quickly. And I think at some point, I would get sick of every day running around like I was a human tank. Just because the weight of your character in that game, which like it's fine for one playthrough, so that's why I'm gonna bang Red Dead 2. I definitely want to play that game again at some point, but that might be the last time. Like I definitely want to play Red Dead 2 one more time, but I think that I'll be satisfied after that.
Okay.
You know, and that's why I'm gonna bang it. And I'm gonna marry Geralt and The Witcher 3. And
smelling of lilac and gooseberries.
I don't blame you.
There's
look at them.
There's so many ways you can play The Witcher 3 too. Like I feel like I don't know. There's so much to do in that game. So, I
thought I was throwing you this crazy curveball, at least with a couple of these, but man, you nailed it. You nailed it. I gotta stump you more next time.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Paul, you ready?
I feel like there's only.
I'm ready.
What were we gonna say, Mike?
I was gonna say I feel like there's only 3 paths to the Noon Wraith, so I'm
yes.
No more Witcher slander. I'm sick of it. All right.
Game's great. We all just hated it.
I'll
Nothing
never
wrong
get
with the
tired
game.
of the Noon Wraith joke ever.
Yep.
All right.
Where I turn it off every single time.
Yep. I got an hour past it last time, and it was something.
Paul, here are your options: Fortnite, Spider-Man PS4, and the series Forza Horizon.
Oh, dude, fuck off. But these are good. These are my favorite. These are my favorite. How dare you?
Yep. Make a choice. Make a decision. Yep.
See, here's the thing, because it plays with all my things, because it's like, oh, kill Fortnite because it doesn't matter, but I love having just a casual, stupid thing to throw on, and Fortnite's so good for that, and you got to know there's going to be content in that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Which means, I'm going to marry Fortnite, and I hate to say it, but I'm going to marry Fortnite because there's just never going to stop being shit to do, and if I get bored, they'll probably come up with a new season that'll change the game mostly enough.
It'll feel fresh still.
Yeah. I'm 100% gonna. I think yeah. So I'm gonna. Oh fuck.
Will you really kill Forza? Come on, you can't do that to your baby now.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking like.
Are you gonna kill Peter? Are you really gonna?
No,
do
I'm
that
not
to
gonna.
him?
See, this is the thing. But the feeling was more that I was gonna get with Peter for one night only.
See,
But-
all the wild things you can do with a muffler, though. Just imagine.
But I'm just thinking like, yeah, getting rid of Forza is really, really tough. I play more Fortnite now than I do Forza. Okay. Fuck me. Why is Fortnite so top of my list? Like, why do I care? Am I 12? All right. I'm gonna take Peter into the closet. I'm gonna bang Spider-Man.
A little
PS4.
upside down kissing, maybe.
I'm gonna revise. I'm gonna marry Fortnite, and I'm gonna kill Forza. I'm so sorry, Forza. I love you. I feel like I haven't been playing as much in the last few years. I love it. It's a great game, but I'll play Fortnite. Fortnite's gonna get updated till the day I die, and hopefully not. That doesn't mean like it's forebodingly like next week or something. I think if I live to 100, it'll keep being knock on wood.
Very nice, very nice. I was wondering where you were gonna go with Forza, in that, because that's like you wrestled with it. That's one of those that you could just play
that's a really
forever.
tough one. You could, and it's a game, one of my top games of all time. But I just, I feel like if I didn't ever get to play it again, I've had my fun with it and I really enjoyed it. But I mean, I'm excited for more. But
no Forza Horizon 5 for you. So
dude, shut up! I'm playing. We actually enforce the rule.
All right, let's move on. Video game Olympics. We're going to end this week's show with a short celebration of the 2020 Olympics, which are going on right now, here in 2021. Between race walking, breakdancing, and modern pentathlon, the Olympics isn't afraid to feature ridiculous sports. So the panelists and I are going to give our answer for the game or game series that we believe would make the best Olympic sport. I'll give my pick first, and then we'll go through the line here. My pick, I want to see an Olympic sport. I want to see people competing for gold in Dance Dance Revolution. I feel like people already take it serious. Did I take yours, Josh?
It's a good answer.
All right,
it's a good answer.
Here's my alternate.
I have another good answer.
Okay, good. Okay. I'm curious to know if my alternate is also your other answer. We'll go to you next, so no one takes your answer again.
You're just throwing it to me.
Yeah.
Shit. No. So I'm going to a game we all haven't played since it came out. We're going Fall Guys.
Oh.
And the various different modes you can play in. I'm gonna need some hexagon golds, some I don't remember the rest of the games, soccer bean, or some shit. I think Fall Guys would just be fun and goofy to watch.
No Among Us in the Olympics.
I think I'd rather drop dead.
Are we talking like people are playing the video game Fall Guys, or people are running through Fall Guys obstacle courses?
¿Por qué no los dos?
Let's do both. Why not?
Whatever you want. Wipeout or playing
the modern biathlon. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Mike, what is your option? What video game or video game series should be?
Let's just throw it back to the theme of today's podcast. PUBG.
Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, I was like Guild Wars 2.
Guild Wars 2. Yeah.
World v. War.
Yeah.
PUBG, I like it. Everyone get your frying pans out.
Yeah.
We're going
Shoot
for
out to the
Jinky.
death.
Paul, what about you? What's your answer?
Yeah, so I think we all remember the original Olympic game, QWOP. So obviously, let's get some. No, I'm kidding.
Hey.
That's my meme answer. I actually have a real answer, and that's my meme answer. I think QWOP is actually pretty funny, though. I think it'd be really funny to try to see people actually compete really seriously at playing QWOP.
Yeah.
But my actual answer, I think would be a legitimately interesting Olympic game is Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Ooh, good.
I've seen
Nice.
people do crazy shit in Beat Saber, and I think there's like quite a high skill level. I think, and I think that's really cool. It's like an actual. It's like Guitar Hero. But you actually have to do shit. And I think that would actually be an interesting Olympic sport.
So that was actually my alternate. It was Beat Saber / Tetris Effect. So I either way.
Nice.
Oh,
I've been meaning to play that. Is that any good, Tetris Effect? I actually was thinking of playing it.
I haven't played it because every time I am like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get into Tetris, and then every time I'm like, nah.
It's on Game Pass, and I was thinking about downloading it.
But the whole thing about Tetris Effect is that it's best in VR. All right. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Game Groofs podcast, the all-encompassing gaming podcast from the Goodnight Groofs. If you really like the show, we encourage you to check out the Patreon at patreon.com/goodnightgroofs, where we currently have 3 different tiers available, and all support is greatly appreciated and will go a long way in improving all of the Goodnight Groofs. The $3 plus tier will get you access to this very show 2 days early. A special shout out to our patrons currently supporting us in the $5 plus tier, the honorary Groof tier, Ishmael S. and Rachel S. A round of applause.
Round of applause. Matt, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I just find that Friday mornings, I have a bad day. I'm always having a bad day Friday morning.
Yeah.
Even though it's Friday, I'm just thinking like last day, I don't even want to go through this day. And I go and I get myself an extra fancy coffee on a Friday morning, and that thing costs me like $6 at Starbucks. Here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why not, so you're saying I only give you 3 of my $6
Yep.
and I get to listen to Game Groofs on Friday morning, really brighten the day? That is some serious value, I'll tell you right now.
It's good value.
It really is. It really is. So dump your lattes in the friggin' toilet and give us all your Groove dollars, baby.
Go get yourself a McCafe. It's the same thing and you'll be fine.
It's still so good. It's a lot of fun. You know what? Little tip. Get a shot of vanilla syrup in there. Oh,
Ooh.
basically Starbucks.
And these are the hot takes you can get early on Friday if you subscribe early.
Otherwise, you're waiting all the way till Sunday, and on Sunday, you're all like anxious that the Monday's coming and you're not even enjoying the podcast. It's a whole thing.
Well, for those listening on Sunday, I hope you're still enjoying the podcast.
Yeah, good luck on Monday, you idiot.
Yeah, give us some money or we're going to keep putting it on a dumb day, dude.
We also ask that you take a couple minutes to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, or leave a like and comment on the YouTube video. Everything
I think we
else.
should offer people something for giving us a 5-star review.
Money.
Yeah, money. I don't think you're legally allowed to do that technically. I think, but I mean, Google always says that, and people are always like, you get a free burger for a Google review. Just don't tell anyone.
Ask one of your audience questions in a review, and then we'll. It has to be 5 stars though, or I'm not fucking answering that shit.
That's really fair. 1 star. What does this podcast suck? Well, I'm not going to answer it.
Why are you so shit?
All right. Make sure to check out goodnightgroofs.com for all of our amazing content, where you'll find the blog, GG Replay, this podcast, and more coming soon. Gentlemen, any last thoughts before we get out of here?
Be sure to water your plants once a day, depending on the plant. But if it's a succulent, no more than 1 time every 3 to 4 days.
I just want to say that some plants you can actually put 3 to 6 ice cubes in at the beginning of the week, and then you're done for the whole thing. So worth keeping in mind if your plant can do it.
Little life hack there for you.
Little life hack.
This is actually a plant Groofs.
That'll do it for us here today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. Take care.
Good night,
Bye.
Groofs.
Good night.
Stay groofy.